All right, then, if I can have a motion to approve.
Motion?
I second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions?
Who's
Alright.
the second? Check.
Yeah.
Who was the second? I got two voices. Thank you.
Okay, great. And before we move to the rest of the meeting, are there any, and I'd like to welcome you all here, are there any public comments from the audience about anything that is not currently on our agenda? No, all right, then we'll move on to our regular business. Case 2434, Wind Creek Casino Site signage and variance.
All right, just one moment, please. I'm just gonna get the screen share set up here.
Suppose I should ask, is there anybody online listening? If they have any comments? Doesn't seem like it.
Nope, not at this time.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go back. All right, we are screen sharing. All right, good evening, Commission. This will be just a presentation on case 2434, Wind Creek Hotel and Casino signage. So we're looking at a sign review and a variance review this evening for the signage on the half of the Wind Creek site that is within the limits of the Village of Homewood. Just to give you reference, now with the 16-story tower up, it's pretty clear where the casino site is located at the corner of Halsted and 175th Street. This is the site that we're looking at here. Just to clarify very quickly what we're looking at, we're just looking at the portion on the left, which is inside the Village of Homewood. There is signage proposed on the right side there on the north side in East Hazel Crest, but that is not in our jurisdiction to review. We're just looking at what's on the Homewood side this evening. We're just looking at the signs that are subject to sign review, which are the ones that you see here. The welcome sign, some monument signs, freestanding signs that provide directional or that just provide information on entrance and exit and some site information. And then the exterior directional signs, which are subject to a variance review. Just looking here, those are where all those signs are located. I know that can be kind of tough to see on the screen here, but the red boxes just show different locations where those signs that are subject to review are located.
Where's the entrance?
The entrance off of Halsted will be on the bottom of the screen there. So in that bottom right corner. I wish I had a laser pointer or something. Oh, great.
Yeah, that's.
Okay. Hoping that it still works.
You can see where it is, right?
Bottom right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, turn.
Got it.
I think it's working now. There we go. There we go. Down in that corner, as where the entrance would be off of what was Halsted and 174th Street.
Thank you.
And then there's an additional entrance to the site over here on 175th. So the first sign that's subject to review, I just want to point out here, it's the main topic of sign review discussion, is a freestanding welcome sign. It includes some welcome to Homewood, I guess, material, village logo and a welcome to. It's a single-sided sign. On the side that says welcome to Homewood is facing to the north. So when you're coming into Homewood on Halsted, you'll see that side. The other side is blank. Which I've indicated in the red circle right here. And then you'll see it just matches the Wind Creek branding for the rest of the signage. The kind of gold finish metal, and then the gray and white scheme that's used on other signs on the site. Looking at then 175th Street, there's another monument sign that's here that has some information on different elements of the site. Here's an example right here. There is, again, the gold brush metal, gray, white color scheme. Other signs showing kind of similar material. This is, again, just a mock-up of one of those signs. They'll have different text depending on what they're demonstrating about the site. And then there's the three signs that are in the parking garage that are subject to the variance review here. They're directional signs. Our code only allows directional signs up to 3 square feet in size. These are obviously much larger, but obviously we're dealing with a structure that's unprecedented in Homewood. And so you're seeing here some signs that are mounted on the very bottom edge of the I guess the ceiling of the structure there. You'll see enter, exit, and parking. They vary depending on which of the signs you're looking at. One has valet parking on the sign. And then two of them look like this, just have parking, enter, exit. And then you'll see on the maps there, the sides that those are located on. These are located on both sides. This is located at a third entrance and exit there. So those signs are just fine as directional signs, like I said. Those directional signs are exempt from sign code review up to 3 square feet in area. However, we don't have any sign code standards for directional signs that are larger than 3 square feet in area. So they need a variance in order to be a permitted sign. We would be varying the language for permitted signs in the village to essentially add that in this instance. And ultimately staff recommends approval of that because it provides a necessary purpose for the function of the site, and it doesn't cause any obstruction, any issues with the overall quality of the site. So with that, that is the end of this presentation. I'll leave you with the recommendation language on the screen.
Is there anybody from Wind Creek here who wanted to speak or say anything, or?
There is.
I'm here. My name is Ken Backar with Integrity Design.
Come on up.
Sure, if you want.
Good evening. My name is Ken Beckbar with Integrity Sign Company. We're the local sign installer for all the signage at the casino. I'm here on behalf of LH Sign Company, who's a manufacturer and Wind Creek Casino. And I'm just here to answer any particular questions about the signage itself.
Okay, great. Well, why don't we start with the commissioners, see if they have any questions. Commissioner Clark?
No questions.
Okay, Commissioner Quirk?
Yeah, so all of the signs that we're talking about here, these monument signs, you put one of those up, no?
Oh, sure.
Are those all internal to your property? And those are the ones that we're talking about that we need a variance.
Yes, they are all internal to the property.
And why do they need to be so big?
A lot of it has to do with readability from the size of the site and from some of the distances that they're being read. The Welcome to Homewood sign is,
No,
Kind of-
that's one I went.
Which one
We'll
are-
talk about that later.
okay,
Just the ones that he was showing, the ones like,
Exit and entrance signs,
No.
valet.
the ones on the
What's
wall,
right there?
the
What's
wall,
right there?
this one here,
Which side?
that's let's see,
Oh, yeah.
that's off 175th Street. That's just a directional because of all the traffic that comes in there with the two restaurants, Panera and Chick-fil-A there.
So how far away from the entrance will those be?
Because of a lot of utilities that are sitting there from the entrance, it'll be back about 10 feet and it'll be in a couple feet from the sidewalk. On 175th Street, single face, it just faces towards Halsted.
Okay, and I don't see anything about lighting of these.
They're not internally illuminated, they're externally illuminated. A lot of these signs have reflective vinyl graphics on it, so when car headlights hit them, they kind of reflect back. So none of the signs are illuminated except for this sign, and the two welcome signs are externally illuminated.
Okay, so they don't have like a spotlight shining on it.
Yes, they do have a ground sign that will be, a ground light, I'm sorry, that will be shining up towards it.
Both sides or one side?
Just the one side with the graphics.
Okay.
And all three of the larger directional signs like this, I know one of them's on East Hazel Crest property, but they're all single face and they're all externally illuminated one side.
Okay, no,
No, all right. Commissioner Preston?
no, I wasn't done.
Oh, you weren't done? Sorry, you said no. I will come back to that. Commissioner Sheffield? No questions. Commissioner Banks?
No question.
Okay. Continue, please.
Are we talking about what the entrance sign says now? Is that what we're talking about as well?
Referring to this sign here at the welcome sign here.
That's the one I'm talking.
So we're looking at the form of the sign. It includes, again, the welcome to language, things like that. Sometimes you have to be careful of the content of the sign, but in this case, we are talking about the design of the sign overall.
What do you have to be careful about?
We can't regulate content specifically on the sign.
Can we make a strong recommendation?
You can regulate,
I could recommend anything I want, right? Yes.
Yes,
Okay, so I think, based on what I'm reading here on page 9 at the top, it looks like staff made a recommendation. They have 2 different signs like that. One that says Homewood, and one that says Hazel Crest.
Yes,
Right, and that's the proposal. And how far, on Halsted would they be apart? Like, if I'm driving down Halsted and I see the East Hazel Crest sign, how far is it before I see the Homewood sign?
we would have press sign, the reading faces north, the copy faces north, the welcome to Homewood faces. It faces north and the other side, yeah, they both face north, but they're probably approximately 600 to 700 feet apart. Approximately.
Okay.
They're on each side of the main entrance, but there's a main pylon sign that comes in between them that's 70 feet tall.
Okay, so. This is much more of an opinion than anything, and that is, I think that's goofy. I think we gotta have one sign that says, welcome to East Hazel Crest and Homewood, hosts of the casino, something like that. I think a single sign, welcoming people to the host cities of the casino is kind of what we're looking for. We're making changes to the sign already, and I just think it sounds like more like a partnership between the 2 communities, and more like I think if you saw a sign that said, "Welcome to East Hazel Crest," and a couple of 100 feet down the way it said, "Welcome to Homewood," I just think that would be not a very positive image. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
My opinion.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Um, No, that can put it on. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. If there was ever a construction project in this village that needs a lot of good, clear, obvious signage, it's this one. I like the welcome to Homewood sign because it incorporates what we're supposed to be doing is looking that any signage incorporates not only your business, but if it has something with the town as well. This has our logo in there. And it also reflects what the other other parts of our town look like in the sign. So I'm fine with that. I think that's a great idea. I know interior parts of this need a lot of signage. People need to know where to go, right, left. I have no problem with the extra signage personally. So I think what you proposed looks very good. And I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. So is there any input from the audience before we decide to vote?
Two quick ones.
You're not the audience.
I'm not the audience, but I have 2 quick questions.
Sure.
2 quick questions. The overhead signs that said, parking, exit, stuff like
Yes.
that. Those are not part of the variance, right?
I believe they are because of this, the overall size
They
of
are.
the sign.
People need to see where to go. It's my opinion, but they need to see where to go.
Yeah, I do too, but that makes for a lot of signs that we're varying, right?
This is the subject of the variance, is these 3 signs.
Right.
Okay, but not the monument signs?
Um,
I'm very confused here, obviously.
okay,
The monument signs are twice as big as what the law allows, right?
no, so the entire site meets code. It's within the signage allowance for the site because that's measured by frontage of the property. These signs in particular are directional signs. They're providing vehicular directional control. They're over a vehicle throughway, for lack of a better term. And so we deem these as directional signs, and as mentioned, we don't have any regulations for directional signs in this form beyond 3 square feet. And so this is where the variance comes from.
Okay, so we don't have any rules beyond 3 square feet. But these are 5+ square feet, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that,
the code limits them to 3 square feet, which really,
well, I mean, so they're exceeding the.
they
code,
exceed that,
right?
yes.
And doesn't that mean that we want to sort of speak up about that in some way? I mean, I agree with you that we want to have visible, clear signage. But this is, we now get, by my count, like 20 signs that were variancing, that's a word.
It's just
I don't
these-
think it's 20.
No.
It's
just these three.
6,
We got 7, 12 of these monument signs.
The monument signs comply, it's
They
just
comply,
these
we're not-
signs that don't.
Right.
That's within, so.
Just those 3 signs. In front of the one side of the building and the back side, entry and exit areas.
Okay, I'll have one more question. Font size and that font, is it gonna be consistent all across all the signs?
Yes.
Okay then. All right, well, then, if I could have a motion then to approve case 2434, Wind Creek signage proposal and variation from section 30-4.b.10 of the Village Code of Ordinances to permit 3 exterior directional signs that exceed the maximum area of 3 square feet.
So moved.
Second.
Second,
All right, can we have roll call, please? Roll call.
Member Banks,
Yes.
member Shefty,
Aye.
member Preston,
Yes.
member Quirk,
yes,
member Club,
Yes.
Chair Ryan.
Aye.
Right.
All right, the motion passes. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Thanks for your
Thank you.
time. Have a
Forward
good
to
evening.
Seeing the progress.
Oh, it's real close.
What is real
okay,
close to
yeah,
me?
what does that mean?
They're talking 3 weeks we can see it.
Holy moly.
I'll believe it when they see it. We're still doing site work and stuff, so
Well, even if it's 6
it's looking
weeks.
beautiful on the inside. It is unbelievable.
Sure.
We have a
Hotel's
tour?
gonna be a while yet.
What's that?
The
We have-
The
hotel's-
hotels, yeah, hotel, final walkout is in February. I think they're trying to open in December, but even that's starting to shape up nice, especially up on the spa level on 15 and the steakhouse up on 60. So,
Steakhouse.
Oh, wow.
It's that one that looks out over.
Do we
the
get a
city.
tour?
The views are outstanding. We put the sign up on the building.
It's
Maybe
beautiful.
no-
I've been up there. I've been up there.
Yeah,
Maybe Noah could arrange a tour
Yeah.
for us.
We are.
They're not.
Good steakhouse.
Yeah, steakhouse.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
He's so there.
All right, now we'll move on to the next case on our agenda. Case 24-43. The appearance review for signage at Essence Salon Suites, 17956 Halsted Street.
All right, good evening once again. I'll be providing just some brief information on kind of a unique case for the Essence Salon Suites sign review, appearance review, located at 17956 Halsted Street. That is in this shopping plaza here near the corner of Halsted Street and Ridge Road. You'll see that this is the tenant space that we are talking about. This is a picture or a Google Maps image from June. Showing the full extent of that tenant space that we'll be discussing this evening. So this pertains to signage for the Essence Salon Suites business, which is a business that's been under development in that tenant space. It is it's a business that we approved signage for in April. And we are dealing with a situation where the signage that was installed is not doesn't reflect the signage that we approved on our initial drawings, and so we're looking at the signage that they have constructed and provided revised drawings for as part of this review. So I just want to first show the current signage, the current conditions that exist out there right now. So the Essence Salon Suite sign, they have 3 signs. 2 of them are visible on this image as constructed. You'll see, let me grab the laser pointer here. One sign is right here, that wall sign right here. And then there's a second wall sign, an aluminum sign that's right there. And then there's a third sign here showing the tenant frontage on Ridge. That is right here. So this wall sign. So these are the 3 signs that are in question this evening. Here they are again, just highlighted briefly. Those were taken in July. So the applicant, as mentioned, has constructed new signage. That was approved in April. That signage constructed varies from the original drawings submitted to the village. I want to clarify, just since it'll come up in our discussion, the size dimensions on the drawings that I will show you are the same that are part of the or that were constructed. So when we approved the drawings in April, the sign dimensions, the actual individual measurements do align with what is on the building. However, the renderings and the locations shown on those drawings are incorrect. And I want to, I'll walk you through each of the drawings just to show the differences and what you'll be looking at this evening. I do also want to mention that the signs, by just the size of the signs, are compliant with section 30, the sign code of the Village Code of Ordinances. So these signage, we look at the overall building frontage and we create a signage allowance based on that. They are allowed 800 square feet of signage. All of the signage on the building currently is compliant with that. They're using roughly 40% of that signage allowance for the signs on this building, but it is compliant with the code just from that standpoint. However, the appearance review can still be done on signs that are compliant with code.
So the reason we're looking at this is not because it's out of code, not because it's a variance, it's because what was supposed to be put up in a certain way wasn't put up that way, it was put up differently.
Correct.
Right.
And so what we're looking at is what was put up differently is, do we want to
Keep it or
keep
change
it or provide recommendations for potential changes? So that is what we're looking at this evening. And again, I'll present and the applicant will also present some of their work on the signs as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Just to quickly walk you through those differences in location, and it might be easier to see on the TV screen than it is on the larger screen over here. This is the original, what we approved over here. You can see that smaller size here on this side. Over here, you're seeing the larger sign there. That's a little bit over 200 square feet, and then a 48 square foot sign on this side right here. For what it's worth, and I'll show it. This is just looking at this sign. I'll talk about this sign, this aluminum sign, this black one in a moment. But so this one we're looking at here, you can see that larger size. It is centered over the storefront windows, which end right about where my laser pointer is right now. But again, it's larger than what we originally had on the renderings, even though these dimensions up here are the same.
And the property goes from the far right S all the way to the left.
Correct. Yep, to the end of the building.
Okay.
So then you can see again, dimensions match, locations and renderings vary. We didn't receive additional information, say, showing dimensions of locations. So those renderings are all we have to go off of for the location of the signs.
So if I understand, I know this is not the question, but I think we need to know this. Although the signs that are up there now are in compliance, they're larger than what was approved and in a different location than what was approved.
So the signage dimensions that you see there, so the actual size information of each individual letter and every component, those are the same between the two drawings. On the arrows there, you can see dimensions match, but you can see the locations, which we also do need in drawings as well. The location and the renderings show that they're a different size. You can see that location shifted to the right and the size got larger.
Right.
And so that's a part of the sign review that we do as well, especially in the absence of, say, elevations with measurements on them. This is all we have to go off of for location. So that's the main reason this is coming forward for consideration by the Appearance Commission.
Just for clarification, they don't need a variance, but anytime that the Appearance Commission has the ability to review any signage. So if staff sees signage during review that we think needs to be elevated to Appearance Commission, we will do that. If they had submitted this originally, we would have sent it to you before they put the signs up.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
It's a great point. All right, then the wall sign on the south side, again, it'll be easier to see on the TV screen in front of you. You can see that sign is a little bit of a different scale here. These measurements, again, are the same. You can see that here and here, but then the sign that we're actually seeing on the original drawing here is different than the sign that we're seeing here, which is much larger, fills up that kind of sign face area of that building. You can see it's significantly larger in scale. And then this one is the same between them. This sign was about 48 square feet. It's on the end of the building here. Those are the same. They're 48 square feet on both of them, and they're the same in the renderings. So, our recommendation ultimately as a staff, was, approval of the signs provided that feedback from the appearance commission. Is brought into consideration and you applied to the signs that we ultimately end up, seeing constructed on the building. With that, I will turn it over to the applicant to provide an introduction of the sign installation and the work that was done on their signs.
All right, great.
Previously.
Thank you. So whoever is here. Good evening.
My name is Mike Evans. I'm one of the owners.
Mike Evans,
Avizar,
Avizar.
AVZIR, my first name.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Welcome.
Thank you. So as Noah mentioned, when the sign company originally put the drawings together and submitted it. We made sure that it followed code as far as for the size of the sign. And we're only using 40% of it currently right now. We have a very large storefront. Well over, I think it's over 600 and some square feet. But in any case, then it was brought to my attention when Noah made a phone call to my operations manager, Safe, that visually, how it actually looked on paper, right, was different than it was on the building. We discussed it with Noah and, he wanted us to fill out this application so we can get in front to talk about it. Again, I could understand, visually, it may look different and that was an error, on our sign company's part. We've made the investment. I think these two signs cost me about $35,000 to put them up. And we were done with it. And then when they brought it to our attention that error was made and now they want to, more or less kind of re-review it. I went back and I made sure that we were in code as far as for the size of the sign. We went out, we measured it, we measured the length, we measured the height. And I know Noah came out also and took a look at it, so he can verify. So we wanted to make sure that it was in code, right? That the sign wasn't any, bigger than we were allowed to have, all right? And we're here today, right, to discuss that. The sign is up, it's been up, the investment has been made. We as a company would like to keep it up. We got great visibility off of two corners that we're on. We're on Halsted and we're on Ridge, both sides. The business is going to house 29 petitions that will be in that facility. At the end of the day, I was out at the site and I was kind of like looking at some of the other tenants. FedEx, for example, I was kind of looking to see how far, the signs were off the corners and we lined up. We honestly lined up. So, again, the issue is just visually on this piece of paper, it looks different. Okay, and that's understood, but by code, we follow it. So I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, just one moment of taking.
Sure.
Okay, to line up, what do you mean by?
Commissioner Quirk, we'll start with you.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. What do you mean by the line?
So
They line up.
how the sign sits, right? How the sign sits, like for example, the sign on Halsted Street sits right on top of the store, the actual, storefront windows. Although the frontage of the store goes from that one, there's a picture. Yeah, where the FedEx sign is, okay? Yep, our side starts there and goes all the way to the end, and it goes around the bend on Ridge, okay? So I looked at it and I said, well, how does my sign compare to FedEx, right? FedEx, is a very large sign, and it sits right, and I don't know what their measurements are, but in any case, I see how the F is off the column compared to our S off our column, and we lined up, right? And that's because the way the store is positioned right now. But again, I mean, the picture previously, the way it was showing on here, it just looks smaller, right? It looks smaller, and by dimension, if you look at that, it's a lot less than what we're even, we're only using 40% right now. That sign is probably more like 25, maybe % 30%, so it's a lot smaller.
40%? Is that
So-
accurate?
So looking at, so the 40% number that's being referenced has to do with the allowable signage on that building. So we have a formula that we use, it's about
Right.
2.5 times the amount of frontage or the, frontage of the, or I guess, buildings that sides that have frontage. And so when you calculate that out, it exceeds the 800 square feet maximum that they were allowed for a building. So it's 800 square feet is the total maximum. So when I mentioned 40%, they're using maybe 300 and trying to remember the exact number of square.
Right, we're allowed 70%.
Wait, it's not by
Seven-
percentage.
it's a-
though. I
what
think
is it?
that's
How-
what's-
how much is it?
The percentage isn't all that important.
I
It's
see.
more of a point of reference
Okay.
that they're using up a certain amount of percentage of signage area on that building, that it's just more of a reference to the fact that their signage is within code, what's allowed for the entire building. They have a letter of approval from the landlord, which allows, because when you have these multi-tenant buildings, you have, the landlord is ultimately responsible for divvying out how much signage each tenant is allowed. They've signed off on that, they're within the allowance, the total of 800 square feet. They're using about 40% of the square footage of
Yeah.
all of the signage allowed for that building.
Okay.
Correct, yeah, so the front of it is 664 square feet, and we're at 260.
Okay.
So the math is, that's the front part.
Commissioner Quirk? Anything else?
Not on these things, no.
No, all right, Commissioner Clark.
Obviously, whoever did the design work in the presentation back in April. Broke number one rule, measure twice, cut once, all right? They didn't scale it to the size of where it's gonna be, where the sign was going. So,
Well, on the drawing,
right,
I agree, there was an error on the drawing, right? But when it came to the actual measurements of
sure,
the sign, that didn't change.
right. Oh, I understand that, that's all within what's allowable.
Right.
What's not allowable is that the top of where you've got like the gold leaf type, that's sitting on one of the architectural details at the top of the building. So that's one of the items that's in question. It's almost, it's like a fascia board and those things are covering it.
Is that on the east
So-
side or on the
On the
Other
east side,
side? Yeah.
yes, above the detail that's on above the salon suites. You could see it's just jammed in there.
So the top one,
Yes,
yeah, here's a picture of it, if you want to see it.
yes, no, I have it right here. Yeah. I'm just pointing out that someone dropped the ball on that one big time. As far
When
as
they,
just the-
I know, when they measured it from the top to the bottom, to the right, to the left, and got the full size, but it goes about, maybe it's about almost 4 inches right on that top part. The bottom one it cleared, but the
Mhm.
top one I can see it's about 4 inches.
Right,
Anything else?
no, that's a
Suggestions?
One question I do have is, one of the pictures here in our packet shows that it was spread out more because you have all that frontage. So where you have the aluminum sign and then the lighted sign there. One of the examples in our packet shows that it's stretched out across the whole front.
I didn't see that.
Yep, and so it's this one, and I can't find the laser
Okay.
pointer all of a sudden. That shows it was on the drawing that was for the details of the 48 square foot sign right there. It's the one on the left, part of the approved package. That was a rendering that was put on to the drawing that's just looking at that black sign, that aluminum sign. The title of that drawing refers to the non-illuminated aluminum sign.
Yes.
So that's the one that you're looking at there. So it wasn't the drawing with all of the details for the wall sign itself. That was just put onto that drawing. So it's, I guess, a third version, but it was used to kind of, I guess, as part of the design of that drawing.
Right.
That drawing in particular, right there on the left, is looking at the details and construction schematics of the black sign.
We would have liked to keep it on top of the glass. Of the store when I saw to the left of this first column right here. So just kept it right on top of
Mhm.
there.
All right, anything else, Commissioner? Clark?
No.
All right, Commissioner Preston.
Commissioner Clark said pretty much what I was going to say. It just looks like there was just a bit of deviation from the design. They probably didn't have the right scale when they were originally
Correct.
coming up.
That's
with the right
correct.
design.
It was
But
the
it's
scale.
it's still the same principle,
Correct,
the scale was just off. So-
correct. That's right.
All right, anything else? Okay,
No,
Commissioner Sheffield.
I have no questions.
All right, Commissioner Vance.
no question.
Okay, well, when I look at this and I was there today looking at it, I did not like the way it looked. It's, yeah, I really think. As I'm looking at these other pages. I sort of assumed it would honestly look like this. I think this looks great. It's centered. This is
Mhm.
centered. You have a
Yep.
lot of empty space there. This is centered over here. This is away from the edge.
So the first, the rendering, Noah, that you had
Yes,
on,
no, that's. That's not it
One.
either.
no, the other one,
That's not it
the one
either.
with the black sign, you showed where the sign was moved over to the left, that
On the
one,
left side.
this one?
Yeah, that's the one that I really think is what I would like to see up there. I think that is visually, looks very, very good. I think the one on the right does not look good at all. It's, and the one that's up there today, honestly, I don't like it at all. It's just all squished to one side. You've got a bunch of empty space.
Okay,
Now, when I look around the side at the, south side? South
the
side.
ridge side? Mhm.
That sign is just, in my opinion, way too big. You're right up against the top, you're right up against the bottom and the sides. While the colors and your font and everything style, I like that, that's nice. And the little leaf, whatever that is, that's nice, but I think personally, it's much too big. I cannot see myself approving that. It's just needs, I think it needs to be changed to the other drawing. The one on the left fits very well. And then that other page where everything's centered, I like that a lot. I personally think that's the way it should be. That I could easily see. The others.
The-
just
Can I?
can't.
Question?
Yes.
Is this your logo?
It is.
Cause I've seen another Essence Suites before
Mhm.
and that's their logo. Like this.
I'm not trying to change the logo. The size is way too big. And on the other drawing, everything needs to be centered. It needs to be moved over and centered, in my opinion. I think that will look good. Incidentally, how are these lit? Interior light inside the,
Yes,
oh, okay,
they're controlled, yeah,
Yeah.
they're controlled by a solar system
okay.
that will come on at night.
Well,
I have a question.
So-
I have a question. What did we approve initially in terms of,
we didn't for this.
we did not approve the placement of the signs?
This did not come to us. It's approved by Angela, or I mean, approved by
Staff.
the staff.
Okay,
And this is what they put up is different from what was approved by staff.
okay.
And different size too?
What the dimensions that are on those drawings do match what's out there right now.
But it just didn't.
But the locations, the rendering, the location information showing that scale, the placement of the signs, it was different from what's out there now.
So the only way they would have disapproved this is they would have said, we're not gonna prove what you're allowed to have up there as far as for the size of the sign. It had to be smaller than.
Well,
We would have taken it to the appearance commission who can review it and
Right,
say that.
right. Right,
So the only way he could resolve based on what the chairman's saying is to have the signs removed and replaced in a different location, correct?
no, he's saying that I'd have to resize it, make it smaller.
Well, you're saying, well, only on the south side, on the east side.
The
he's
east
saying-
side I can move over.
Well, you
I
get,
can move over, I can,
right.
I can move that over and have it centered more, so
Right.
it looks.
But that's an expensive proposition.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've already, you know,
I
again,
know, it was a declarative statement.
I've
I'm not
spent
arguing. I'm not
thousands of
arguing.
dollars doing this already.
I
Did you
understand.
not say earlier that this was an error on the sign company though?
It was just the visual on the paper. The size of the sign was approved.
Okay.
And that's what you see up there.
And on the other side, the south side. Is that large sign on the right, is that,
It's code, it's approved. I mean, the size is correct.
what I'm trying to understand is, it's really butting up against everything there, is that? Is that okay? I mean, structurally, is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I'm assuming, I mean, it was approved.
So just, we don't have a specific sign code provision that says that the details of that sign. As they're butting up against architecture doesn't work, however, in our appearance plan, which is part of the appearance commission's review. It would, as mentioned in the staff memo, there's several provisions of that plan that's, we generally discourage signs that. Again, don't work in harmony with the architectural concept, that have conflicts with existing architectural elements, things like that.
So it is
So the size of that area is 240 square feet. The size of the sign that you see there is 145 square feet. So-
I don't have a problem with the way the sign looks. I just don't, it's just way too big. I wish we could have seen this before.
Yeah.
It's just, for me,
Right, that's it.
and I'm just one vote, for me, it's way too big. Again, on the other side, if we keep the same size, it's fine, but I think everything needs to be moved over and centered. I just,
So-
it doesn't look good to me.
Okay, so on the sign, the sign on Halsted, I can move that over. We can move it over so you'll see it more centered. It will be the way you see it there, but we're gonna move it over, okay? The other side, what I would like to do, and I would wanna make a proposal, is the salon suites and the actual logos, okay? I can make them smaller, much smaller, okay? And we can bring that down then a little bit to center it. You know what I'm saying?
On the right side,
If you don't
talking
mind.
about this?
Is there? Okay. Where do I press this?
Oh, there's
Top
a
button?
green button here.
Okay, all right. So this essence here would, this size would stay the same. This right here would go much smaller, the salon suites. These right here will be much smaller. And then basically this would shift down,
That I could, that would certainly.
okay?
and you're right.
I mean, this way I can, because the cost is in the essence. The lettering there, those are almost 3 feet tall, right? So, but the salon suites, those smaller ones, I can take that down and take down the logos next to each other and then make them smaller, much smaller, and then just shift it down.
What do you call those designs? Just the designs?
Or these little arches that we,
Leaves.
these little leaves,
Yeah, our leaves are.
yeah, right here. So this piece right here will come down, will shift down.
All right, so since we have some new thoughts on this, and then of course, the east side will be centered, shifted and centered. correct?
I will shift it over. I will shift it over and we can, and if you can go, yeah, so, oh, sorry. Okay, so right here, we're gonna take this and we're gonna shift it over. Basically, what I'll do is I'll center it
Yeah.
between this piece right here.
All right, now, since this is a new idea, new proposal, do I have any more ideas or input from the commissioners, Commissioner Cluck, on the revision?
The signage on the south side. What my thoughts would be are the on the left and the right of salon suites. Just go with the smaller scale of those two things. And then the gold bar that's in between, that's on either end of where it says Essence. Cut that gold bar in half.
Well,
Making the essence sign smaller, though, is gonna cost a lot.
it's gonna be, yeah.
Right, no, the sign stays the same, but that gold bar detail on the right and the left-hand side of that, then it pulls it away from, it's not cramming the colored wall. That it's like right now, everything's all jammed in tight,
Okay. What I'll
I mean,
do,
that's a
Noah,
suggestion.
that's, okay, what I'll do is we'll take that off
This,
and we'll have a new rendering done, okay?
Okay.
So I can bring it to you. And you take a look at it, and if everything is approved on this side, then we'll move forward and make those changes on this one.
Yes.
And on the other one too. So,
And the conditional license will reflect.
in the condition language.
The changes that they're proposing and that we need to see new drawings that are approved prior.
Correct, because I'm hearing everything and I'm registering everything. I'm gonna put it on paper. If anything changes, it's from what we talked about, then we'll get it back to me, so
Great.
We'll address the issue right
Well,
away.
let's see what the rest of the commissioners think. Thank you.
Thank
Motion to select anything else?
No.
Should work.
Anything about everything or anything about just
This whole topic.
the whole time? The black sign, that black rectangular one on the east side. That was not approved in the original submission to the village staff, correct?
It was.
It was.
It was.
It was approved.
Yep, the drawing on the left on the screen right now is what was part of the approved package in our permit review system.
Okay, I just gotta say, it, like all the rest of the signs on your business. I like you guys, I'm welcome to.
Thank you.
But everything is really sort of out of sync with everything else that's in Humboldt. That black sign, that's not a sign. You look at it from here, you can't see a single thing. You look at the Essence from here, you can see Essence Salon Suites. That's a poster that you put up on the side of your building. And that's not, that's not what you're supposed to have. That's not what you can't see it from afar. It doesn't serve the purpose that a sign has. We write these ordinances so that businesses can have advertisement of their wares and their services. And that does not do anything to advertise it that you wouldn't get if you didn't just put that up on one of the windows.
It is tough to read, even up
Oh, it's
close.
impossible. I've tried to read it from several different places.
I know, but that's one of our signs that we get a lot of our inquiries from.
And my point is this, that's, again, that's not a sign, that's a poster. And if you put it in your window, you would likely get the same amount.
Is that aluminum? Is that?
Traffic.
It's aluminum.
And it's screwed in with what, 16 screws? So to my observation, which is not an expert observation, it would be a small thing to remove it. I'll just say that.
Is it illuminated?
Say again?
It's not illuminated. no.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
So your proposal is to take it off.
Yeah,
Okay, so there's another proposal.
well, to move it to a different spot on his property,
Where?
I would put it on an inside window. So. Still up to him to put it where it goes.
Okay, so there's another thing for us to consider. Anything else? Commissioner Preston? On all of them.
Okay, so it's unfortunate that we didn't have the opportunity to look at the signage before, because it's like, I received an approval, I spent a lot of money, I put a huge investment into getting this signage done. Maybe the rendering was a little bit off, and, I sympathize and I empathize with the hard work that went through it, so I do like that you were able to say, hey, okay, I am going to make a concession and with the Essence sign and make the bottom one smaller. I'm okay with that, because again, you didn't have the opportunity to see us and have these renderings put in front of us, so I do give concession in that space. I understand what he's saying with the sign up, the black sign, that's traditionally, if you look at some of his other location, that's like a traditional sign that he has, but I think more or less just so for you to know, it's like, okay, you're in Homewood now, so that works in a different community. So I think it's more or less of like, hey, can you give us something a little bit more grandiose? Because your other signage looks really beautiful, and this one's a little bit different.
Right.
So,
I mean, I understand that, but it was,
Yeah.
that wasn't even a topic, the black sign was approved. I mean, that was a non-issue.
it was, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna focus my attention on that sign, that's your branding. You already gave your concession on making that smaller sign, so I think I'm aligned.
Okay, anything else?
No, I think that's okay. I know we want to make sure the branding and everything looks good, but we also want to be a little bit respectful of the business owner's visions, and that's his vision. I don't really want to crush it all the way. And I understand things happen, especially with signage companies, so we don't want you, I don't want you to feel like it's an attack on your hard-earned money put into the.
I just have to jump in here. These revisions that our chair is talking about, that I would agree with, are small in comparison to many of the other revisions that we've done in the past, which have required large changes to the designs.
That is
No,
true.
You could make the argument, and it would be accurate, that though, when those changes were made in the past, the fabrication was not already done, which obviously increases the cost tremendously,
Yes,
but it's not our,
I know. And I understand the poster effect. I understand the poster effect, because that's something that if you drove around the community, you won't see. We didn't approve that, but definitely the signage where it says the Essence Suites. Again, he made the concession to make it smaller
Both sides.
on both sides changes, yeah, so just giving a little.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Right, Commissioner Shep, it's hard to say that.
Just say sure.
Sir.
I appreciate the fact that you were not involved with we were not involved with the process earlier, regretfully, and I very much appreciate the concessions and the changes that you're going to be making.
Okay. Commissioner Ray.
So along the lines of what I was gonna say, I did want to ask if there would be an opportunity to include lighting on the smaller sign that was in question. Like, would lighting help that?
I don't know that it would make it any
No, why
more
not?
visible. I was there today looking at it, and it's really,
Is it a pan or a flat piece?
it's flat. I mean, I was right in front of where those cars are parked. I was right there and I'm looking up at it. Maybe it's because I'm an old guy, but I had to squint to see
can't see it,
some of
I
that
cannot see
on
it.
the very, very bottom.
It's aluminum.
Yeah.
So you could make it into a pan and do cutouts of letters and have the backlighting behind the sign.
Well, now that's another great idea.
15 years in sign buildings.
And you hear what he said?
I heard what he said,
Is that?
I started calculating the cost behind that too.
But that's not, and I'm sorry. That would make it more visible,
I
though.
understand.
What's
But
the name?
again, it wasn't, I mean. It was never brought up. We never talked about
I
it.
understand
You
that.
know.
too. What was the name of the sign company that you worked with? Would you mind?
It's in Bridgeview, Risha Signs,
Say again?
Risha, REESHA, Risha.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so it looks like we have two proposals. The first proposal is to center the signs on the east side. And then on the south side, to lower the word Essence, not change its size, but lower it, make the Leafs and Salon Suites smaller, so everything can be brought down and aligned nicely, so it's not so massive. That's one of the proposals that, and you've accepted that you would do that. The second proposal is all of that and also removing the black aluminum sign. My question to staff is that two separate votes? Or
I guess it would depend on whether
one passes and one doesn't,
Right.
correct?
maybe two
Okay.
separate votes might make sense if you're
The second.
not all in agreement.
And it's proposed, and then there's a vote on
Well-
the amendment,
There's gonna be two.
and if the first amendment passes, then it's in.
Right.
If it doesn't, then the second one goes up. You know, like that.
That's something I haven't before.
I bet it makes more sense to do two votes. I think.
To do, I think that's what I.
Do we want a discussion?
All right, we can have a discussion on both of them before we can do that,
Would
absolutely.
we please?
All right, and we'll start with Chair.
Mr. Sheffield? Thank you, thank you. Do we? I think it would be prudent if we'd ask the gentleman to provide us with revised drawings before we vote on whether it's acceptable or not.
That would.
Did I hear a?
And you can do that,
That would be another month.
but that would mean November
Well,
7th.
the signs are already up though. So it's not like we're holding them up.
Would you be willing to do that? And, but your signs are already up. so
They're
you
up.
can have
I mean, yeah, I
anything,
mean-
and this would be brought back.
Well, that was, the idea was, you know, I wanna make sure that you got the drawings and make sure that this is what we talked about. Go ahead and make the changes.
When is when are you looking to open this?
It's
'Cause
about,
in-
it's gonna be, I would say, about a month and a half.
Okay, so yeah, because that's part of occupancy for as
Well,
well.
the the signs are already up, but he would have to wait a month to change them, and at some point, the signs would be taken down and moved, and so that would be disruptive to the business, I would think, to wait that extra.
Right.
The next meeting isn't until November 7th, so.
I don't want to fall into the same situation that we are looking at now where he has put up signs and we're making changes to what his signs are. And they still don't meet what we want to do.
Well, if they don't.
And if I'm sorry, if he comes in with drawings and the drawings reflect what we've asked him to do. Realistically, it does not take a month to move the sign boxes over. And he still has signs up. And he can get an occupancy permit with the existing signs up, is that not correct?
He cannot.
He cannot.
He cannot open the store right now. We aren't approving the,
The signs are currently not in compliance until we have approval by the appearance commission.
Is the main non-compliance of the sign because they're crowding the architectural details?
Well, the
Is it-
signs are not correct just because they're not in compliance with the original drawings that were submitted. to you.
Right.
The matter of the architectural details has to do with the appearance reviews. Our commission's review of whether this is in compliance with the appearance plan or follows the standards in our appearance plan. And is, a suitable design for this space.
Right, okay.
All right.
can we, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
can we ask him to revise drawings and submit them to you? And if those drawings are inconsistent with what we're going to propose, can we then essentially say, yay?
Yeah, I think we can do that. You can't meet without it being a public meeting on your scheduled day, but if we were to send them out and you individually gave a yes or a no, then before staff approved them, we could do it that way.
Is that acceptable to the three of you?
Yes.
And that's, yeah.
Here's, all right.
When we get the revised plans, we can send them out and individually you can say this was my intent or not.
All right, so we're gonna have two votes.
Does that make sense?
One vote will be on the changes plus removing well, we could potentially have two votes. The first one will be on the changes with removing and then also including removing the black sign. If that passes, we're done. If it doesn't pass, then the next one will be on the revisions as proposed, which not even talking about the black sign, because that wasn't originally in there. That sound reasonable? All right, so do I have a motion?
Sure.
Yes,
Just to clarify for a minute, just for the purposes of keeping notes here, the two options are revisions as proposed with adjustments to the black sign, the third aluminum non-illuminated sign, and the second option is the changes as proposed without those changes to the black non-illuminated sign.
Yes.
so the black one second.
No, exactly as you,
I've been working.
Chair, it's exactly as you said it. The first is the entire package, including the removal of the black signs. That's your vote right now.
Okay, so
You get it.
do I have a motion to
I got it.
approve case 2443 appearance review for signage at Essence Salon Suites, 17956 Halsted Street? Incorporating the design recommendations provided by the Appearance Commission in the design evaluation, which includes the east signage centered moved over and centered on the east wall. The south side signage having the word Salon Suites letters made smaller and the leaflets smaller and bringing everything lower to be centered within that area. And also the removal of the black aluminum sign. Do I have a motion?
So,
Second,
I'll second it.
okay, roll call please.
Member Banks?
Yes.
Member Shefke?
Aye.
Member Preston?
Yes.
Member Quirk?
yes,
Member Clark?
Yes.
Madam Chair Ryan.
No,
Okay, motion carries.
motion carries. Okay, so the black sign will be removed.
All right,
That's what we voted.
yep.
And then everything else is going to be centered. All right, well, we appreciate you coming here.
Okay,
And working with us with these changes.
okay,
Welcome to home.
Yeah.
have a good evening.
Thank you.
Seriously, welcome to home. Hope you have a good business.
Yes.
We need to set up some-
So, moving on. This is case 24-44, the appearance review for apparel redefined at 1313 to 1351 West 175th Street. So,
Yep, we've got some setup to do before we start with this one.
all right.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Let's look back and listen in private.
You know, the owner. Might be the owner.
I can also, yeah, that's probably okay. So.
For the actual company that's being built there.
And then I'll just show some things that, same, like the commission here.
That work?
Oh my goodness. We're waiting for somebody.
I'm sorry. We had
No, we're waiting for somebody.
a little sidebar session.
Is that
Okay.
violate the open meetings? Is that violate the open meetings?
I think it's a nice idea. No,
Right,
thank you.
good evening, Commission. Final item on the agenda this evening is the appearance review for Apparel Redefined located at 1313 through 1351 West 175th Street. It's a large plot of land, one of the remaining vacant parcels of the Prairie Lakes Business Park on the northern side of Homewood. You'll see it there with frontage along 175th Street. And here is as it looks right now. It's a large field with many deer, as previously discussed at the Planning and Zoning Commission hearing. It's a you can see the it's about a little over 5 acres that we're looking at in particular for this project. So the applicant has proposed the construction of a new production facility and headquarters for the company Apparel Redefined, about 46,000 square feet. And then the renovation of an existing office building on the site at 1313 West 175th Street, connected with a 2-story connector between those two structures. So just to show you the site plan drawing to help you interpret that drawing, on the right side here, which would be to the east, you have the existing office building. It's made of brick. It's 2 stories. And then you have the larger production facility with a connector running between them. And you can see those 2 buildings on the screen there on either side. The landscape plan is here. A variety of different landscaping treatments are proposed. Just to show you the plan here. They're doing foundation landscaping, perimeter landscaping, interior parking, landscaping, new with the new production facility on that western side of the lot. They're maintaining existing trees and landscaping on the lot, including the existing stand of trees that screens this lot from the Isaac Walton Preserve, which is to the south of the site. The village arborist has reviewed plans and made recommendations for changes to the landscape palette. I do just want to briefly call those to your attention, just to add some illustrations to the plants that were proposed. They're very similar, as you can see, just some slight changes to the plant palette. This was discussed with the Planning and Zoning Commission as well, as part of the plan development and site plan review applications. And so this plant palette is before you for final review as part of the appearance review. And again, you can see the changes that were made there, recommended by Brian Dorr, village arborist. So those changes are made.
Can you go back 1 page for a second?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The renderings, you can see these are initial renderings. There are some renderings that vary slightly in appearance that are presented that are kind of more of a finalized version, a little bit higher definition provided by the applicant, and they'll walk you through those as well, detailing some of the specifics of the materials on the structure. So there's another rendering here. And then the elevations are here, and I will stop here just to briefly provide a discussion of the results of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting and how it affects the appearance review. So currently our zoning ordinance prohibits the use of a corrugated metal material. It's considered a material that we generally don't allow on buildings. The plan development included modifications to permit the use of the corrugated metal material. The village board has the final approval on that, but it was recommended for approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission. So if that is approved by the village board, the corrugated metal can be used. So that isn't the matter of discussion. It's more how that material is used on the building. So the applicant will walk through where those materials, these different metal paneling materials, are used on the building, but the Appearance Commission can weigh in on that. But the prohibition on that material is part of the modifications in that plan development application that again is before the village board in the near future for approval. So I just wanted to kind of illustrate where the decision making on the materials lie. They are using a variety of flat panel metal panels that you'll see here, the corrugated metal paneling here, and they will use it on the new production facility, and they will be doing cladding of using the various materials on the office building as well, instead of using the brick that's there right now. So again, I'll leave that to the applicant to walk through the specifics of where those will be used. But you can see some more elevations, just a lighting plan here, and the legend is sitting behind the picture, so I do apologize. That's my mistake. The red dots indicate new light poles that are proposed to be installed. The black ones are ones that are pre-existing. And so just to show you, they're just adding a couple of new lights to that as well. They're just black, I believe the 25-foot poles, just kind of standard parking poles that will go around more of the perimeter of the existing building and the new production facility, only on the front side and on that interior side to the east. There's no additional lighting proposed, say, on the south side that might affect the Isaac Walton Preserve. So the recommendation from staff is to approve case 2244, the appearance review for apparel redefined. With the recommendations that the landscape plan be revised. And we receive one prior to approval of the with the changes recommended by the village arborist. And then that the one additional recommendation that just to meet the provisions of what we generally look for in the appearance plan standards is to see that consistency of materials pulled out on different signs. The monument signs, generally, we need to see the integration of materials from the existing building brought out to that sign. That sign right now has just brick material. So it's a small note, a small recommendation that the existing monument sign, which is proposed to be used by Apparel Redefined, just needs to incorporate materials that are used on the main building. And those are the only two recommendations that we're providing with this appearance review. So with that, I will turn it over to the applicant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Noah. Yep. Will you need the laser pointer?
I guess.
Sure.
I get to the.
Oh, let me set you up with the other presentation.
So these renderings were done.
What is your name, please?
I'm sorry, I'm John Leroy.
John Leroy.
Yeah, from Apparel Redefined.
Okay.
Thank you for your time and consideration tonight.
Oh, glad you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, so these renderings were done about a year ago, and the ones you see on the board, and then what I'll show in the presentation, were done in the last week. After we finalized some of these colors and materials. But while he's pulling it up,
Is this it right here?
yeah,
Great. We'll zoom in for you here.
sure. While he's pulling it up, so this is the steel flat panel that we're proposing to use on the front of the new construction building. These are, I believe, 36-inch wide panels that will be installed vertically. The idea is this dark charcoal, the ground level, up about 22 feet, just like on the drawing. And then there'll be a red stripe about this size, about 18 inches, across the middle of the building, and then the remaining 8 to 10 feet, will be this ash color gray. So the entire front of the building will be flat. And then the sides, what would it be? It would be the west side, the south side, and the east side would be the standard corrugated metal. Because especially on the west side, we'll be removing that wall, hopefully in 3 to 4 years, when we expand. And then the south wall that faces Isaac Walton is invisible, especially with the berm in the back.
I'm sorry, can you kind of orient your presentation to like the existing building and the new building? Because I'm
Sure,
I'm
I'll
getting
pull it up on the
very
screen.
unclear. Because where is the new wall that you're going to take down in a couple of years? Is that in the existing building?
No, new building.
New building, okay.
Thinking of it as a PDF, so you may need to scroll down.
This one?
one.
Okay.
Is there a presentation of it? I saw just. a
No,
PDF.
you're right. No, this is. Okay. So to orient you. This is the view from the street, 175th Street,
All right, all
on the
right,
new facility,
all right.
okay? The wall, is this laser pointer, the wall that we would get rid of. Sorry. Yeah,
Put
that
it up a
side,
little higher on the screen, please. A little higher on the screen, thank you.
the wall that we would eventually be removing would be here, which facing this way is Homewood Disposal. Homewood Disposal will be like right here.
Okay.
And obviously this is the front of the building that faces 175th Street. This is the existing building,
Uh-huh,
this is a new construction.
thank you.
So these are just some other angles of the new facility with updated landscaping that matches the plan. We plan on having an employee picnic area in front of the glass walkway. It's kind of a drawing of that, which would be right in that area there. And then this is the monument sign that Noah was talking about, and
for the existing office building. That's there right now, that is this color brick. We're considering either two options, one cladding. The existing brick building with the same steel, so you have a cohesive look for the entire development. Or staining the existing brick with these in decoration wool, which are from PMS values. So you use a PMS value of these three colors, and you get the stain to match, and you stain the brick. So if we do that, we do the same thing as the brick behind it here.
Well, I'm noticing blue here and there. Is that part of it too?
Blue. So these are the artists. Trying to show these are windows.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so with the north and south exposure. We'll have a lot of natural light into the.
I was gonna say, there's
Yeah,
blue.
yeah. And then I did do. No, if I can. Get back. Sure. I can figure it out. Is this it? Yeah.
Is it the top one?
Yeah.
You probably want the windows. You got it.
So the artist put together just a 3D rendering.
Nice.
You can see windows in the back, we might add it a little bit more, but that's the plan right now.
And those are glass walkways, correct?
Correct.
Top.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there two? So there's two?
What's that?
There are two?
It'll be a two-story walkway, yeah, because when you walk into the new production facility, there's a mezzanine. There'll be actually a two-story mezzanine, so you can get to the top or bottom, depending on where you're watching. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. We can get mountains too?
Yeah.
That's the bird.
It's a big bird.
20-foot tall bird.
That's the berm.
So that is a sign.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
It'll be back illuminated sign. So this is showing it what it would look like in daytime. He comes in. Like here.
Sounds very cool. That whole panel is the sun?
Yes.
I see like one or two garage doors on the face, the north face. Is that really what you're gonna have, or is it gonna be like all garage doors?
No, they'll be on each side of the building here.
It'll be a tab at the bottom. It'll be under the Microsoft Edge logo here, just over to the left.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. There it is. There you are.
So yes, so let's go to the bigger one. Yeah, so you see a garage door
No,
here and here. This will be our inbound or intake, receiving, and this will be shipping. That's it.
but that's what you're expecting.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, well, why don't we have some discussion and input from our commissioners? Let's start with Commissioner Banks.
I understand that's not going up. I don't have any questions at this point.
Commissioner Sheffield.
Yes, please. I'm confused about the sign. Is that whole front of the building, the upper band, the gray band, is that flush? And how does the sign actually work in that? I mean, are you cut out letters? Are you putting letters on the sign? I'm very much confused. I'm sorry. I'm just a country boy.
So this right here,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
it's those are essentially, they're not hollow, but they're 3D letters that are raised with a pen system off the steel, and then they're backlit.
The back with neon,
What's that?
with neon,
No, LED, probably about 5,000 Kelvin temperature.
so it's not flush. They're not flush with the face of the building.
No,
Okay.
And it's the apparel redefined backlit as well and lit up,
It
or
is,
just
yeah.
your logo?
it is. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is right now. You can kind of see right here at night. So they're
I
black
see.
letters, but
Okay,
they're mesh. So when the white light shines through it at night, it appears white. In the daytime, it's black.
Okay. Why are you painting the existing building or staining? I think it's staining.
Why?
Yes, sir.
Because the existing building is currently
Brick.
kind of, it's this color right here.
Right. So,
So I thought it would be a better idea visually, aesthetically.
but you have,
The entire,
but you have two different uses. One's an industrial facility and one's administrative facility. So I'm not sure what message you're sending there. And I'm not a big fan of painting or staining brick either, but, so that's kind of back here telling me, but. So why are you, why do you want the colors to be the same on the brick?
I thought it would look forward, it would create a more cohesive look from the street, for the neighbors, for the community to have a nicer look to the development. That's my opinion, obviously. Your opinion is different, you're entitled to it, but in my opinion, I just feel like the existing look matching the new production facility with the existing, because if you look at a lot of precast buildings that are out there right now, even though inside the precast building, you have two separate operations, you have the sales office, you have customer service, you have production. All you see are just the walls, right? It's a cold kind of odorous look, where this is, even on two different facilities, doing two different operations, unifying the look, because we are a company, is something that's
But certainly the glass walkways unify the building too.
correct.
I mean, there's no mistaking that this is a separate company. It's, you wouldn't have, so, what are you going to be staining it with? And what's the life expectancy of the stains?
I don't have the answer right now, but Bruce, do you have any?
Yeah, so we would stay, sorry,
That's okay, Bruce.
we would use knockoff probably or similar products, penetrating stain, doesn't peel, it never goes away and it never fades.
Never fades.
And it looks, the brick still looks like brick. when you're done. It doesn't look like a painted surface, it still maintains the texture, so it kind of, it's a thinner wash, just like when you stain wood.
Okay.
And so it soaks in. And so it doesn't, it's not like a coating like paint that tends to peel, see painted buildings that sort of fail after a while. You wouldn't have that. And you still have the brick texture, especially up close. You feel like it's a brick building. So that's kind of the proposal if you do brick.
I see.
Staining rather than clad.
Okay, thank you. The panels that you're speaking of, how thick are they?
Thick or wide?
Thick, material thickness.
I
Are
think
they-
they're
are they-
16 or 18 gauge.
Okay. So it's thick.
It's. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like Costco. When you Costco, right? That's the kind of material. it is.
Okay.
It's like any metal building. The difference is that he's proposing a flat panel on the front
Right.
that looks, kind of gives you more of the impression that it's precast or something else, so it doesn't look like the typical, you know, pole barn, basically. So you get a little better aesthetics on the facade.
And those are painted also?
Those are factory painted.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I have no questions.
Thank
All
you.
right. Commissioner Quirk.
Clarification, the gray band across the top of the new building, is that? Which of these samples is that?
Gray band across the top.
Yeah.
What are you referring to?
On the new building,
There's.
we got the dark gray on the bottom and the light gray on top.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's-
That's this right here.
That's that right there.
That's that.
Okay, so basically then you would have those three materials on the front facade.
Correct.
And they would be on the same three materials would be on the front facade of the existing building when you redo it.
It would either be these materials or stain that matches.
Right, yes. But on all the other faces, you would have that, the fourth one.
On the steel building, the new construction would be this material, but this color,
Okay, and about the existing building,
all three other walls.
oh, you're gonna stain it.
Yeah,
But only the front elevation of the existing building, correct?
we'll stain the front elevation, this pattern.
Right, but that's the only wall that's gonna be stay in the front.
Other three walls be staying.
Oh, you're gonna extend all the way, okay, thank you. Sorry.
Anything else? Sign.
So as you've picked up, I'm sure along the way here, we've had strong reservations about using that sort of material in buildings here because, you know, it deteriorates after a while and especially on a prime site like this. That is sort of the front door of Homewood, though we have many front doors. We're concerned that it would not stand up to the test of time. You know, everybody said drive it is going to stand the test of time, and it did. It stood up to the test of time for about 4 years. And so, you know, we're very concerned about that, not only for its durability, but for its visibility. It's sort of how pretty is it or not. And you know, I see that you've included you know, other samples of buildings that flank you guys, and I think that's, you know, I've looked at those very carefully, and I think you've got a point there, but we're not trying to go to the lowest common denominator, we're trying to go to the highest common denominator. That's where we're trying to, you know, have new developments in the village. So that's all.
And doesn't that still have to be approved by the board anyway? What are you seeing, the village board?
Yeah.
The village board has to approve the plan development. So yes, it will be approved by the village board.
So it may end up coming back to us if they don't approve it anyway.
If. I'm not sure how that process would work because what they're considering, they are not approving you get to approve this portion of it. They are going to take the Planning and Zoning Commission's recommendation for the development as a whole. So, yeah, I'm not sure. It would eventually come back to you, I guess,
Depending on the board's decision, okay. Commissioner Clark?
I think it looks great. Everything looks consistent, the older brick building being the same colors as the new building. I think that ties it all together, you know, instead of it'd be just a completely different color. It shows that it's a business, a substantial business. Be interesting when you do this phase 2 of the production area. You're like, wow, that's big. So, oh, I think it all looks great. This is very popular materials. You know, they're durable,
Yes, much
long
different
lasting.
than the steel of, you know, even 15 to 20 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think it looks great.
Commissioner Burke?
Yeah, you know, the reasoning we hear usually for the use of that corrugated material is that it's more reasonably priced. So if you did happen to, you know, the sides of the building, so the east and the west sides, not the back of the building, but the east and west, if you did clad those in, you know, materials essentially like the cladding of the front of the building, how much, you know, I mean, are you talking about
It's 30%.
30% of the entire cost of the project?
It's a 30% more expensive panel. Than
So-
the corrugated.
I hate to be ignorant, but I am ignorant, so is it? Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Say that's an appreciable cost.
Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing too. I mean, the one wall is going to be removed, so why would you spend that money? And then on the wall that faces the east. Most of that wall won't be seen because of the glass walkway, or a good portion of it.
It'll be interrupted visually, is what he's saying.
Okay, I've been very clear.
Most everything I was wondering has been covered, but we didn't really discuss or have input about the monument sign in the front. I think if you're going to paint the brick, I think the monument sign should match it with being painted as well. instead of cladding it. I think painting it would be the better option, because that would then be uniform with the house. But I don't know what the other commissioners, because that is something we need to consider, feel about that. So let's get some input, Commissioner Banks.
I agree that, whatever, whether it's, those materials or the painted brick, that whatever it's done to the monument should match the house.
Okay, Commissioner Shepard.
If you're gonna use the existing monument sign, then I agree with you.
Okay, Commissioner.
I agree as well.
Commissioner Ford.
Okay.
Commissioner Philippe, okay, Commissioner Clark.
I think either way can go paint, or stain the brick or use the same material, because you're gonna get the same effect. It's the colors.
So it's whatever they do to the house, do to the monument side, essentially, painting the monument side.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, all right, anybody have anything else before we move on to the vote? All right, then do I have a motion to approve case 2444? Appearance review for apparel redefined at 1313 to 1351 West 175th Street site plan, floor plans, elevations, landscape plan, and renderings by Bruce F. Roth Architect and Metz Company Landscape Architects submitted August 21st, 2024, subject to the following conditions. The revised landscape plan with the plant materials as proposed by the village arborist shall be submitted prior to the issuance of the building permits. 2, all final color and material modifications on the office building at 1313 West 175th Street shall be applied to the structural elements of the monument sign on that site, meaning that the monument sign will be painted to match the house, right? Correctly stated, stained to match, shall be stained to match the house. Get that note. Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second,
All right, roll call, please.
Member Banks,
yes.
member Shepke,
Aye.
member Preston,
Yes.
member Twerk,
Abstain.
member Club,
Yes.
Chair Whiteman.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming here.
Thanks for
We're
doing
looking
this,
forward
too.
To this. Be very nice.
So when are you gonna break down?
Okay, so we do need to do some circling back here on this next.
Watch out for ticks in that wooden inspector.
It was brought to my attention after case 2434, after case 2443. The Essence Suites that a couple members of the commission were unclear and may have voted in a way that they because they were unsure of exactly what the wording was and what you voted on. So I guess we need to go back and re-vote. And I will try to be as clear as I can on case 2443, the appearance review for Essence Salon. So that everybody is completely clear in the information as soon as I get back to wherever I wrote all that down. Okay.
So I hate to be the Roberts Rules of Order guy, because
I don't know, I asked Angela, this is.
I do. And in order to revote, you need to have two people, one, both of whom voted for the, the motion to move and second that it be brought up for further discussion.
I so move.
I second.
There you
Thank you. I was completely unaware of
go.
that.
Just call me Robert.
Okay, Robert. Yeah. All right, so you get that?
No,
Could you repeat that? So that it's officially in and everything was recorded, please?
Under Robert's Rules of Order, you have to, if you have to go back on an issue, you have to have two people who voted for the issue make a motion and a second to have it reconsidered. And so we had that.
Okay, so we are going to revote on case 2443. Do I have a motion to revote? Just to revote on?
Motion.
Well, that, please say it, but thank you. On 2443, appearance review for signage and Essence Salon Suites, 17956 Halsted Street, incorporating any design recommendations provided by the Appearance Commission in the design evaluation with the east side signage centered. The south side signage wording Salon Suites will be smaller letters, as well as the leaves design being smaller and everything brought lower and into alignment. And also with the removal of the black aluminum signs. Do I have a motion?
Is the motion to revote or the motion is to revise what we voted?
Revise.
The motion is the
Robert.
new vote, I think you've already done the motion to revote,
Already
so
repealed the old-
this is the actual revote. So
Okay.
the motion is for this.
Okay, thank you.
So do
I
I
make
have
that motion that you just said.
second?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
all right, roll
I got
call.
lost.
please.
Wait, who was our first and second? Just so we're. First.
Member Banks? Member Sheffield?
No,
Member Preston?
No.
Member Quirk?
Yes.
Member Clough?
Yes.
Chair Ryan.
No, so now we have 3-3.
So it did not pass.
It did not.
You
pass.
need 4 votes to pass.
All right, so then,
So now you take your second vote.
right. Do we have approval of case 20, or can I have a motion for approval of case 2443, the appearance review for signage at Essence Salon Suites, 17956 Halsted Street, incorporating any design recommendations provided by the Appearance Commission in the design evaluation, with the east side signage centered, with the south side signage words Salon Suites smaller, as well as the leaf designs smaller. And the revised drawings submitted to staff that meets with our recommendations, right?
Right.
Okay,
and there was no mention of the black sign.
well, because we already,
I just want to make sure I'm list.
right, no
This
mention,
vote does not include the black sign. The
Right.
black sign as approved will not, and
Will
as
stay.
constructed will stay.
will stay.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second,
Second,
okay, roll call, please.
Member Banks?
Yes.
Member Sheffield?
Aye.
Member Preston?
Yes.
Member Quirk?
No.
Member Clough?
Yes.
Chair Ryan.
Aye. Okay, motion passed 5-1. Yeah, wow, this is, wow.
How did you people?
These last few meetings have been complicated. All right. So we need to let him know, correct?
Yes.
Of the changes. All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you, yeah, it's been, thank you, guys. Glad somebody on here knows Robert's rules. I guess I need to take a class. All right, do we have any old business?
No.
Any new business? All right, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn at. What is that? 7:40 p.m. Motion, please.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
roll call. Oh, never mind. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Yet another meeting. I don't.
Well, it's still